One of my favorite people, and also a regular guest for many years, and really the guy that sort of, as I think the band will agree with me here, got us through COVID because he gave us first-tier, intelligent information about it. James Sapirstein joins us. I love James. He is the CEO, chairman, and president of a company called First Wave Biopharma. Their stock symbol FWBI. They are in the business of improving patients' lives, and I'm going to let him talk about that. James, great to see you, man. How you been?
I've been good.
I always have to ask you about COVID. I mean, I always have to ask you about, even though, and we'll be talking about this for 3 years, but you're the guy who actually told us literally months ahead of time when there was going to be a new thing, and it happened. Are we endemic now? Are we in the clear where it's just going to be a vaccination once a year?
I think we're endemic at this point. Lots of folks are getting their 6th vaccine because that's what the CDC has recommended, but I honestly don't think it's necessary. I think we've all got some COVID in our bodies, and we have a good herd immunity going on around the country.
I'm liking that. Hey, so talk to us about, let's talk about First Wave once again. Give us a top down, because you haven't been on the air for a few weeks with us. Give us a top down on what you guys are curing here, because what stuck with us last time and what we got so many emails on was the fact that many of the patients in this pancreatic enzyme insufficiency or for cystic fibrosis are taking 30, 40, 50 pills a year, and you've got these guys potentially down to a handful. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me on the show again, Sully. We're actually almost done with the study. I should have an announcement pretty soon. We have an end of phase 2B study where we're making sure we understand the right dose and the right, we have the right formulation to get us into phase 3. So we are studying for exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. Basically, kids and adults who have cystic fibrosis cannot absorb their food correctly and absorb their nutrients. So they do take these porcine-based products. They take about anywhere from 20 to 40 up capsules per day with their meals and snacks. We hope to reduce that at least by 50%, if not more.
Yeah, what's interesting about this is a quality of life issue as well as anything else concerning the malady. This makes patients' lives better and easier to deal with, right?
That's correct. And while I can't reveal the results of the trial because I don't know them, I do know from a safety perspective, everyone's doing really well. The patient's doing really well and feeling good. That's always a good sign. We should have the last patient out very soon. I'll make that announcement, hopefully before the end of this month. And we should have top-line data available the 2nd week of July.
Hey, James, talk to us about the addressable market here. And let's get back to the FDA stuff in a minute. But the addressable market for this disease worldwide is pretty staggering, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's you're looking at, in terms of market size, close to $4 billion worldwide. In the U.S., it's about $2.5 billion, dominated by 1 or 2 players. And also, that's just cystic fibrosis and just what the drugs are indicated for. For good or for bad, there's a lot of off-label use in people who have pancreatitis and have other types of diseases that can't absorb nutrients very well. And these drugs are used, these enzymes are used there as well.
James, top down, from a CEO's perspective in the biopharma space, in terms of getting things across the goal line now with the FDA post-COVID, any difference pre and post-COVID? Obviously, there were vaccines we were concerned about during COVID and such like that. But my question would be, now that COVID's over, are things kind of back to normal again in your mind, or have things changed any? With the FDA?
No, I think things are changing, but I don't think they're far from normal. FDA, they have well over 100,000 employees. We know that most of them do not go to the office, so there's not a lot of in-face meetings.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, I mean, you need a collective group of anywhere from 20 to 25 people discussing things about a file or a product approval. And they're not there. They're on Zooms or you named the medium. It doesn't make for those side discussions that are needed in order to make things happen. So things are still, unfortunately, very slow.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's smart to sort of consider is the fact that when you as a guy who've been in biopharma forever, I mean, LaRoche, Bristol Myers Squibb, Eli Lilly, so on and so forth. You know that there's a big arc of the story with respect to timeframes. How do you manage that with respect to dealing with an FDA that obviously is post-COVID? And further, how do you figure out your timeframes as a CEO and what's next? That's got to be a difficult play.
Well, I think that's a difficult part, and that's really where our share price starts to suffer, right? Because you start getting into financial woes. The longer things are delayed, you try not to over dilute the company and raise enough capital that you need to get to the next milestone. And then the milestone's delayed by the FDA, as one of ours was this year by 60 days.
Jeez.
It hurts.
Yeah.
So you just have to try to manage through it.
Last of all, before I let you out of here today, first of all, I want to get you on a regular basis like we used to now that we're sort of back in the new studios and we're off and running. What are you looking forward to most for 2023 as a public company?
Well, I can tell you we're waiting for our data. That's going to be exciting. We had a very good bio meeting last week. We met with a lot of partners. They're equally waiting for our data. I still have a few tricks up my sleeve. And we're a publicly traded company, so I can't talk about that, but stay tuned.
All right, pal. James, thank you so much. Awesome. James Sapirstein, one of my favorite guys ever. Luckily, he's with us for a long time. James Sapirstein, Chairman, President, and CEO. You'll see a lot of him coming up in the weeks to come.
Your COVID
First Wave
bullseye.
Biopharma, FWBI. He's our COVID bullseye guy. There you go. All right.